I have chosen the title of the presentation as Thinking Like a Researcher. The title is as important as the presentation, so why this title? Rules and regulations say that you must get a PhD if you want our teaching job. When a person approaches our guide, ultimately the topic is the field of interest to the guide, and rarely the interest of the researcher and that of the guide go in the same direction. The instructions are then given to prepare the first paper and submit, and the budding researcher is all at sea. Hence, it is necessary that the budding researchers are made aware of the fact that there is something known as thinking like a researcher.
This naturally brings up the question, are there different types of thinking, and, if so, how one should think like a researcher? Is this a skill to be learned, or comes naturally? Even if there's something called thinking like a researcher, what is the need for such thinking?
Thinking like a researcher, you are a loan applicant. You are visiting the bank to meet the manager. You want to discuss the loan application. What will be your thinking? Thinking like a researcher, you are the bank manager about to interview the loan applicant. What will be your thinking? Thinking like a researcher, you are a friend of the manager sitting there while he talks to the loan applicant. What will be your thinking? Thinking like a researcher, you are the wife of the loan applicant sitting there while he talks to the manager. What will be your thinking? Thinking like a researcher, any of these thinking situations reflect the thinking of a researcher, yes/no. Why? Can you justify your answer?
Suppose you are taking your family to a restaurant for dinner. As you start, you are worried about getting a convenient parking place, availability of a table for dining, if not booked in advance, the likely menu and the cost, etc. On the other hand, if you are accompanying someone as a guest, then your thinking is about the ambience you feel fine there, whether you may get an item of your choice or eat what they order, will it be crowded, and so on. If you are a newcomer to the city and visiting that place for the first time, your thinking will be focused on the cost of food, the time taken for serving the food, especially if you have other programs lined up such as catching a train. If you are a researcher and you are interested in doing research on the dining preferences of people visiting the restaurant, will you be thinking in any of the ways listed above, or will it be different? The answer to this question will definitely answer the question on the need of thinking like a researcher.
Scientific research, deductive research. Inductive research.
Inductive research. What is inductive research? In inductive research, the goal of a researcher is to infer theoretical concepts and patterns from observed data. Hence, inductive research is also called theory-building research. Deductive research. In deductive research, the goal of the researcher is to test concepts and patterns known from theory using new empirical data. Hence, deductive research is theory-testing research.
Scientific research, which is more important? Deductive research or inductive research? Why? Research skill. What are the types of research skill?
Conducting scientific research, therefore, requires two sets of skills: theoretical and methodological skills needed to operate in the theoretical and empirical levels. Methodological skills. Know-how are relatively standard, invariant across disciplines, and easily acquired through doctoral programs. The theoretical skills. Know what may be considerably harder to master, and can require years of observations and reflection, and are more tacit in nature. Skills that cannot be taught, learned through experience. It may broadly be said that methodological skills are needed to be an ordinary researcher, but theoretical skills are required to be an extraordinary researcher. Some of the mastered theoreticians are Galileo, Newton, Einstein, Adam Smith, Charles Darwin and the like.
Thinking like a researcher, what should I know? Is there any special vocabulary?
Yes, there are special vocabulary that will enhance the reputation of a researcher. The most important words are unit of analysis, constructs, hypothesis, theories, model, etc.
Thinking like a researcher, unit of analysis, it is the pointer to the person or object, either individual or collective, the target of investigation. Thinking like a researcher, unit of analysis, example of unit of analysis.
Unit of analysis is the most important keyword in the dictionary of a researcher. It is the pointer to the person, individual or collective, or the object that is the target of investigation. For example, a research may be undertaken to study 1. People's shopping behavior. 2. Children's learning outcome. 3. People's attitudes to new technologies. What can be the unit of analysis in such studies? Is it the shops visited or the individual who visits the shops? Is it the lesson or study material or the individual who learns? Is it the technology or the person who uses or does not use the technology? Obviously, the wrong choice of the unit of analysis will lead to wrong conclusions and will be a huge waste of resources. If the research is on the attractiveness of web pages, obviously the unit of analysis is the web page and not the web page designer. Further, understanding the unit of analysis is very important because it helps you to understand the type of data you have to collect and decide the source of data, and all these help you to design a better questionnaire. Constructs. The next important word in the dictionary of a researcher is constructs. It may be said that the majority of the research comes under the category explanatory because they focus on searching for plausible explanations of observed social or natural phenomena. Such explanations require development of concepts that relate to generalizable properties or characteristics associated with people or objects or events. It is important to note that objects such as persons, cars, web pages, etc., are not concepts. On the other hand, their specific characteristics of behavior, such as a person's attitude, a car's weight, the graphics in a web page, etc., qualify to be named as concepts. Our daily dose of conversations include different concepts such as trend, stress, attitude, etc. From the word concept we move on to the word construct. A construct is an abstract concept specially chosen to explain a given phenomenon. A construct can be a simple concept or a combination of several related concepts. For example, height is a simple construct, but on the other hand, social skill is a combination of several concepts such as attitude, behavior, and patience, to name a few. Thus a construct is either unidimensional, height, or multidimensional, social skill. A fundamental requirement of a scientific research is that the constructs used must have a precise and clear definition, in the sense that others must be able to use and understand exactly what a given construct means and it does not mean. Scientific research also requires operational definition that define constructs in terms of how they will be empirically measured. For example, operational definition of the construct temperature must include whether it is measured in Celsius or Fahrenheit or Kelvin scale, etc. A construct such as income should clearly specify whether it is the monthly income or annual income, gross or net, after tax deductions, and so on. When a proposition connects two constructs, say construct A and construct B, we in turn generate a set of independent and dependent variables. Besides that, we also have moderating variables, mediating variables, and control variables. The discussion on these variables are beyond the scope of this presentation. A proposition based on logic is deductive and a proposition based on empirical observation is inductive. Propositions are associations between abstract constructs and hence cannot be tested directly, and we need variables that can be tested indirectly by examining the relationship between corresponding measures.
Thinking like a researcher hypothesis. Example of a hypothesis: how a hypothesis differs from a construct.